I will say this. Ohio State came out and really took it to Georgia through the air. Now, my key to victory for Ohio State to begin the game is exactly what they did. Like, literally, we played the clip. We shared it on YouTube, abandoned the run early, get Marvin Harrison involved. Joe, they did that. They got him 2 touchdowns in the first half. They were legitimately putting it to Georgia through the air. I thought it was the best game plan that they could have had. They executed that game plan, and they were on their way to winning. 2 big things to me are, number one, I will go ahead and say this, and we probably should clip this part too. Kirby Smart's timeout call before the fake punt is what makes him elite. Not good, not great, elite. Joe, he knew something was off. He knew that, something didn't feel right. He trusted his coaches, and with an instant, he called the timeout. Ohio State would have got a first down on the fake punt.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, what I don't think people understand about this too, and Kirby calling that timeout before the fake punt, is you're down by 14, and you don't like, it's a crunch time type of deal. Should I really call a timeout here? Kirby calls the timeout. They have to go ahead and punt, meaning Ohio State. They would go ahead and score 14 points. We all know what happens. Georgia win the game. That's the first thing, and what makes Kirby elite and why they're playing for another national title. Number 2, when we've talked about this before we named it the Ruffino and Joe Show, we talked about this on Saturdays. CJ Stroud is one-dimensional and gets panicked when Marvin Harrison Jr. is not in the lineup. When he got knocked out, and which was a great hit.
Not illegal.
I'm tired of people saying that it was illegal or dirty. First off, that hit's not dirty. What if they score a touchdown there, they go up by 21.
That's a great play on the football. That is what you should coach any of your DBs back of the end zone, even if it's in the middle of the field. Lead with your shoulder, throw yourself into the play, reckless abandonment, knock the ball out. That has been coached since the beginning of football to do that. If he led with his head, it'd be a different conversation. But like, what else is he supposed to do there? The people who you tweeted perfectly about this, the people who complain about it are the ones who didn't play the game or don't know enough about the game.
Correct. And I had people tweeting me, Blake, you're just a dumbass on Twitter. And I'm like, bro, first off, what's he supposed to do?
Stand there and watch him, apparently.
I guess so. But
observe.
Those are the 2 plays of the game that are the biggest. There's not a bigger call. Let me tell you something, Joe, in my opinion. There's not a bigger call in the last 2 playoffs so far, to me, than Kirby Smart's timeout. None.
I agree.
If they get that first down, it's over. Okay? Here's going to be the key for TCU against Georgia. Can they run the ball enough and keep in front of the chains enough and hit some of those big plays to get into the end zone and keep this game close? I think that Ohio State was in hyperdrive, and it came back to bite them in the ass. Georgia played 91 plays defensively. 90.
That's insane. 91.
And you know what happened? They didn't have a sack until the end of the game. Okay, did not have a sack. And you told me this, and I think you tweeted this out too. You said at when it comes crunch time, Georgia's going to get after CJ Stroud. They did. They iced the game. It was the best playoff game that I can remember outside of Georgia and Alabama and the catch by Devonta Smith.
So taking us back to the coaching stuff you're talking about, this game was way closer than we expected. Like both these games,
not daddy.
Okay, all right. I will admit that you predicted that, but it ended up being really close. And you would think on paper, not having watched the game, you wouldn't think that Kirby drastically outcoached Ryan Day. You wouldn't think that at all. You would think to yourself, Ryan Day had
you think Kirby really outcoached Ryan Day?
I think he outcoached him significantly, especially that one call is a perfect example. The other thing that I do not understand, I don't put all the blame on that kicker for missing that kick. To throw the ball, if they had to throw it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, they threw it twice back to back.
Twice on that final drive with timeouts in your pocket, and you didn't pick up any yards. I don't understand that decision. That has to be one of the most backwards ass decisions in it. It has been something that we've seen since the beginning of time and the inception of football. Run the ball, get closer, kick the field goal. A 50-yard field goal is supposed to be a kick that is makeable for a Big Ten kicker and a guy that was probably at the top of his class. But it is a high pressure situation. And you need to put that guy in the highest success rate situation possible. And they did not do that. I am still dumbfounded, absolutely dumbfounded that Ryan Day's decision making was to throw it twice. On top of that, the risk of an interception on that as well as, which I know he didn't make those bad plays. So I'm sure that he was confident in CJ Stroud. I don't get it. That was bad coaching, bad decision making to throw the ball there.
I agree with you. I agree with you. The only problem that the only reason why I won't get on him too much, Joe, they're running the ball for 3 yards per carry. Okay.
Yeah, but okay, so 6 yards is still 6 yards closer of a field goal.
That is
they don't
true.
need the first down. They don't need the first down. I don't think they would. I don't think they would have picked it up. It's 6 yards. Like that's it goes from a 50-yarder to a 44-yarder.
That's true, and I agree. But let's not act like CJ Stroud had not been absolutely ripping them alive. I agree with you that I guess I'm just not gonna rip on Ryan Day because this is what got you to the dance. Meaning you're in this situation to tie the game against Georgia because of what you've been doing. I think that when you get in a situation like that, you start asking yourself, well, if I'm here, why am I changing anything up? Now, here's the thing. A 50-yard field goal is a 50-yard. You know this and I know this. Should he gotten a little bit closer? Maybe. Sure. Okay, I get it. But let's not act like the kick wasn't even remotely close.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But it's a pressure thing, though. He missed that badly because he psyched himself out. That's the only explanation for it. There is nothing different from his technique to Georgia's kicker's technique. It's the same thing. It is one of the few positions in sports that there are no differences in the quality of guys at those programs. He psyched himself out. So by getting yourself closer, and this is coming from a former specialist, I've been around enough crazy kickers to know that when you get guys closer, their confidence builds up the closer you get. So it's like 50 yards, it's a daunting distance. It clearly got into his head. That's where I see the cause for concern in the decision making is that it set him up for failure. He's never had a kick like that I know of. I don't like it. I don't know. I'm so hung up on that. There was so much more in this game, but that to me is like, because that's what they won the game. They won the freaking game if it wasn't for that missed kick.
I guess. I guess. I just don't. I think the kicker screwed up. Really. I mean, if he would have missed a foot away, right or left, I'd been like, you know what? Okay, maybe Ryan Day should have gone run the ball twice. But since Joe, it's like if he was on Madden and he put the joysticks all the way to the far left.
Yeah, his hand slipped.
I don't know. But what does Ryan Day do there? Like, I just don't understand. You know, I get what you're saying. I understand it, but I just don't know. Now, what I will say is this. I put more on him throwing the ball in the drive beforehand when they kicked the field or lined up for a field goal missed, or I think it was a field goal missed, because it was 3rd and 2 and CJ Stroud went back to pass and got sacked, if you remember. Yes. I forget the guy. So that drive, if you're going to ice somebody, that was the time to ice them, not when you're down 3 and having to get a field goal. Because Joe, if they would have converted that shallow cross at the end of the game and would have gotten closer, Joe, not only would they have had a first down, they would have probably had 2 chances to throw to the end zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna rip on Ryan Day on that part. I thought that their game plan was really good. I thought that they had Kirby and Georgia did not face a team in a game this year and that's why you saw Stetson Bennett react the way that he did, and all the team. They thought they were going to lose. And
absolutely.
And for the first time in this season, they responded through adversity. Joe, there's only one other team in college football's history that's gone 15-0. That was 2019 LSU. Georgia has the ability to do it. And I will tell you, just to me, the way that they answered the bell against, they took the best Ohio State punch and probably the best game that Ohio State's played that I've seen in the last 3 or 4 years, and they still won.